but let's call this meeting in order at 1:05. Commissioner Fiedler is not here as the agenda and the items he had recused himself from for various reasons, as he stated in our hearing that occurred last Thursday. And today we are here, a special meeting. Let's see, what do we, I'm sorry. To address the request for exclusion from the service plan for the proposed Pan-Ark Estates Metropolitan District pursuant to C.R.S. 32-1203, subsection 3.5a, and to finalize adoption for the resolution passed last Thursday regarding the service plan pursuant to C.R.S. 32-1-205. And with that, Chris, would you please give us an overview?
Certainly, happy
Thank
to.
you.
So essentially, this is the final stage for the commissioner's consideration of the proposed service plan that was submitted by the Pan-Ark Homeowners Association, that group. And essentially, it comes, you referenced the statute, and essentially, you may recall that under 32-1-203, 3.5, persons owning property in the proposed special district were entitled to request to have their property excluded from the special district prior to approval of the service plan. And they had 10 days before the hearing last week to submit their request for that. As of July 12th, which was the 10-day time period, I believe the commissioners had officially received, I think, 59 requests for exclusion. At least one or two of those were withdrawn before the hearing last week. And at the hearing last week, unless I missed it, I don't recall anyone who appeared either live or via Zoom presenting their request for exclusion of the property. And so at this point in time, the next step is for the commissioners to determine whether or not that the petitioners, the proponents of the service plan, met the burden of proof that granting the request for exclusion from the district submitted by those 59 property owners or so would not be in the best interest of the community or the proposed special district. I know Mr. Greer is not here, and you may recall on the meeting last week. I mean, Mr. Norris. Sorry, Mr. Greer. I'm looking at you and saying, Mr. Norris mentioned that the evidence that they presented as to why the request for exclusion should not be accepted is that it would end up rendering somewhat of a Swiss cheese model for operation of the district, which is precisely what the proponents are trying to get away from in the current operating mode that they're in. So with that being said, it's up to the commissioner to decide based on the evidence, and keep in mind that the only thing you can consider is the evidence presented at the public hearing last week as to whether or not any or all of the exclusions should be accepted by the commissioners. And I'm happy to answer any questions. And then once you determine that, the final step in the process is pursuant to 32-1-205, I believe, which is adoption of the resolution, the final adoption of the resolution, either approving, disapproving, or whatever with the special district. So I'm happy to answer any questions that you or Commissioner Marcella have.
Chris, we need to make the motion on the determination with the request for exclusion first, and then are we now looking to make a motion to approve the resolution again, or just acknowledging that passing of the resolution from Thursday?
I think you have to go on and move to adopt it and approve it again, because now it incorporates the actions that you're taking today in regards to the special request. There was an amendment from the one that was read at the end of the meeting last week that incorporates proposed language in regards to the exclusions, but it will depend on what you and Commissioner Marcella determine in regards to the first step as to whether other changes are needed to the resolution.
Okay.
And
Well,
I can point those differences out to you in terms of the amendments to the resolution if you like. I think I sent y'all a marked up version so you'd see what changes were proposed.
yeah, I was just trying to pull that up again, but I think first we can get through that change language referring to exclusions in the resolution. But first let's look at or discuss between Commissioner Marcel and I I'm sorry, looking for these documents. The exclusion, and Chris, from my point of view, I think you summarized that well. As far as the information presented last week at the hearing, I don't see where any of those petitioners or requests came in to supply a significant amount of proof, if any, that exclusion from the special district would not, in fact, be harmful, or where any exclusions, I mean, they can't follow through with the service plan intended, and also then not include or incorporate benefits to anyone who had submitted a request for exclusion, in my opinion. I wonder if Commissioner Marcella has any other thoughts or insight or perspective on that.
No, I don't think so. I think you hit that well from my perspective.
Okay. And so, Chris, the motion to be made for approval or denial or award or denial of any and all of those who had submitted, can we make a motion to include those in total? Since there really aren't any outlying that stand out.
Yes, I think you can adopt them, in whole, just because of the fact that there was, as you said, none that came and stood out in terms of presenting evidence as to why they should be excluded. I do have, the list. If you wanted me to run through the list of the names that are requested exclusion, we could certainly do that. But I don't think that's required under the statute. And I would invite Mr. Greer to correct me if I'm wrong.
No, Chris, we don't think that you need to go through them one by one, especially if the commissioners have a determination as to how to proceed with all of them.
Okay. And so I'm just trying to pull up.
Do you want me to share my screen, Sarah?
Do you have the revised resolution?
I sent that was sent out late Friday afternoon. If you don't, I can email it again, or whoop, there we go.
Can you see it?
Yes.
This is not redlined. This is the draft that incorporates the language. Did you need to see the red line, Sarah?
Well, no.
Very much.
No, that's okay. I just wanted to know.
Need to make the actual motion for the exclusion before you address the motion for exclusion before you go through the resolution.
Okay, and Chris, the motion might look like moving to accept or deny all requests for exclusion pursuant to which statute?
32-1-3. Let me get to it again.
3.5, I think.
Yeah, 32.123 3.5A.
It's right here.
Oh, great. There we go.
Sorry.
5A. Okay. All right. Okay. Commissioner Marcel, do you have any other questions for legal or the petitioner before being able to make or craft a motion?
No, I feel confident at this point doing that. If
Okay,
you
great.
move forward.
I am comfortable with that. If you wouldn't mind taking a stab at a motion.
So after reviewing the information presented by the petitioner, I will make a motion that the board deny the 59 or any additional requests from property owners for exclusion from the district under section 32-1-203 3.5A C.R.S.
All right, I will second that. Any further discussion?
And for me, thank you.
Okay. Legal, have we covered what we need to?
As far as I'm concerned, I believe you've addressed what the statute requires in terms of denying the request for exclusion received.
Okay.
Mr. Greer, do you have any concerns with that so far?
No, I know there's a motion and a second, and I'm sure that they're in favor. But just in case, just for the avoidance of doubt, I don't know what your standard procedure is, but I don't know if that's sufficient when you have two commissioners, or if you actually like to do not the roll call, but just get the vote.
Yep, we'll take a vote. Yep, after the discussion here. We just wanted to make sure we had included
Yeah,
that.
This
So
was
the
just
motion on the
discussion.
table, yep, is to deny the request for exemption from the special district. Hearing no further discussion from my fellow commissioner, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right. So you've taken care of the request for exemption.
Yeah, so your next step, the next step is to finalize the resolution under 32-1-205.
Yeah, would you like me to read this into the record? I'll read it into the record with the changes, or as a new resolution.
I think that's probably because there were revisions made to it. And part of it too is the revision in regards to the decision made at the hearing too about not referring it to the planning commission. And so I think that was part of what was read on Thursday too. I think the only changes I would hope are in regards to the exclusion of it. And so, in the interest of time, you could probably just read the revised part,
Okay.
but I mean,
That's fine with me.
Okay.
Kayla, what would you prefer?
No, that's fine. I have the notice of the changes in the resolution, so I can read that, make a motion and read those into the record.
Okay,
All right. I will make a motion that the Board of County Commissioners of Lake County approve Resolution 21-16, a resolution regarding the service plan for the Pan-Ark Estates Metropolitan District, with the following changes from Resolution 21-15. Whereas the board does not have a policy requiring Lake County Planning Commission review of proposed service plan under sections 32-1-202 1A and 30-28-112 C.R.S. So the referral to the Planning Commission is not required. And whereas the board received 59 written requests for property owners for exclusion from the district under section 32-1-203 3.5A C.R.S. And whereas this board did, on July 22nd, 2021, conduct a full public hearing on this matter, taking evidence establishing the jurisdiction of the board to hear this matter, and further taking evidence regarding the substantive issues set forth in section 32-1-203 C.R.S., at which hearing all interested parties were afforded an opportunity to be heard. Following that, in section 3A, the proponents met the burden of proof that granting the request for exclusion from the district submitted by a certain property owners would not be in the best interest of the community or the proposed special district. D, that the district is capable of providing economical and sufficient service to the area within their proposed boundaries. Under section 4B, given the state of the roads within the Pan-Ark Estates community, it is of utmost importance that the proponents be given the opportunity to submit the proposed organization and table ballot measures to the district's eligible electors at the November 2nd, 2021 election. And D, the Special District Act enables the board to submit the service plan to the County Planning Commission, but gives the board full discretion with regard to whether to accept the County Planning Commission's recommendation. E, in the interest of time, the board has decided to reserve submission of the service plan to the Planning Commission and proceed with approval of the service plan in order to enable the proponents to submit the ballot measures to eligible electors on November 2nd, 2021. Section 5, upon approval of the district by the electors, the district board shall provide an annual report and consult with Lake County Road and Bridge Department prior to adopting each annual budget for the district. Moved, read, finalized, and adopted by the Board of County Commissioners of the County of Lake, State of Colorado at this special meeting held the 26th day of July, 2021. Oh, you're muted, sorry.
Thank you. All right, I will second that motion. Thank you for reading that revision into the record. Any further discussion?
No, thank you.
I don't have anything either. Thanks for organizing this, Chris, and doing what we had to remedy that. All right, hearing no further discussion from Commissioner Marcella. I'm giving a minute.
No, thank you.
Okay, all right, thanks.
Actually,
All those,
the only thing that I would mention, I'm sorry, Commissioner Mudge, and I don't know, Chris, what you want on the format. I'm just starting to think about the signature of the resolution. Do you want to list Commissioner Fiedler as being here, or do you want to, I don't know what you like to do with the format, given that he's recused himself?
It will be entered in when it's signed that he had recused himself.
Thank you. Sorry, Commissioner Roger.
no problem, no problem. We want to make sure we've got everybody on the same page and understanding where we're going. So that sounds good. All right, if there's no further discussion, all of those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Okay. We'll get those signed and then have the clerk then also forward those to the petitioner and legal counsel for our records and the purpose of the petitioner moving forward in their process. And just also, because we had a couple questions after the hearing last time, you know, there is another step with district court that the petitioner will be presenting their case for bringing this to the ballot. So there are a number of next steps where there might be opportunity to participate and or at least kind of monitor the progress of the initiative here. Mr. Greer, do we have any idea when that might be scheduled, or at least within what time frame, and or what are the special district plans or requirements for posting any such appointment with the district court?
Well, it's a very good question. And I cannot give you a definitive answer because the next step in the process is one of the most time consuming, and that would be to collect petitions. By statute, it has to be 30% of the tax paying electors in the district, or 200, whichever number is fewer. I believe the number that we've come up with is approximately 150 or 160. I'd have to look at my notes, but you know, there's going to need to be a number of signatures collected. Those signatures by taxpaying elector, by statutory definition, does require the individual to be a property owner in his or her personal capacity, or the spouse or civil union partner of a property owner. Actually, yes, I believe spouse and civil union partner. I would have to double check that. But the important point being, you know, there's going to be, I think, a combination of door-to-door efforts and email efforts to get people to sign the petitions. And then we will be collecting those. And as soon as we get the required number plus 5 or 10 more, just in case there's, you know, any accidents or duplicates inadvertently, we will file promptly with the district court, at which point we will be asking the district court to if I recall the statutory process, the district court needs to have a hearing within 20 to 30 days of the filing. But what I can't tell you is when we will be prepared to file. But that is one of the reasons why we asked for this meeting today, this special meeting, to be held quickly. And that's one of the reasons why we're eager to have the signed resolution, because the petition does need to include the final resolution as an attachment by statute. So that's the next step in the process. But the biggest step in the process, obviously, is November 2nd, when the issues of organizing the district and raising the taxes will be submitted to the community's voters. And so that's obviously where people will most easily be able to have their say as to whether they want this or not.
Very
So
good.
I'll finally get the finalized documents over to Clerk Berger so that she'll have those for you and Commissioner Marcella to sign. Because she not only needs to record them, but she needs to provide a certified copy to the petitioners to go with that, with the petition for signatures as well.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'll give her a call right after this meeting to make sure she's ready to look for those. Excellent. Well, thank you for that. I don't think there's anything else on the agenda for today. Tomorrow we have a work session scheduled at 1, and another joint work session Thursday evening at 5:30 with the city at City Hall. And with that, I think we are ready to adjourn. Commissioner Marcella?
Nothing further from me. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. At 1:27 then, we will adjourn.
Thanks, everybody.
And I just want to say, on behalf of the proponents and the community out there, thank you very much. We really appreciate all of your hard work and helping move this along.
Welcome. All right.
Right. Bye,
Take care.
everybody.